Don't know what just happened, but now you can see that vehicle really starting to move out. Back on Mulholland, LAPD definitely in pursuit. Stolen vehicle. This is the type of speeds we saw earlier on. That car actually fishtailing a little bit, going on the opposite side of traffic, crossing that yellow line. You can see right there other people braking, hard braking. That means they were scared. So that car is moving very, very quickly, going across the lines, and that seems to be a problem. LAPD above right there, this pursuit continuing on Mulholland.
And Stu, we are just holding our breaths. I think all of us are, because we know this area. We know we're very, very familiar with the homes in the hills, and we know that on those small, narrow residential streets, that we know that some cars even stop to even pass another car by going in different directions. So they're very small streets, and even on a major like Mulholland, we know that these roads are very curvy. We know especially at night it can be very dangerous. At one point this driver had their lights off, so even making it even more dangerous for other oncoming drivers, perhaps, when we saw them actually going on the wrong side of the road, just as you saw there again. Stu, can you give us any direction as to where he is right now?
We're heading back down towards Ventura Boulevard, so that means he's northbound right now. You know, that vehicle, the little interaction they had right there, even if it was innocent, LAPD not taking any chances with that. They actually stopped that Mercedes. Right now we're getting back into the down westbound right here. I believe this may be Dickens. Don't quote me on that yet. It definitely is Dickens, and this is again a very residential area. We're definitely well established in the Sherman Oaks area, working their way out there. You can see crossing Van Nuys Boulevard. Luckily, there was no traffic. I understand that may have been a red light, but now this pursuit continuing northbound on Dickens. I think that they did say northbound. Dickens is actually an east-west street, so my guess is we are going westbound right now, making a southbound turn right now, working our way back onto, northbound turn, working our way back onto Ventura Boulevard. Very busy out here this evening, coming out onto Ventura, westbound Ventura. Now you can see this is an area where there's a lot of activity right now. It's going to get very dangerous for any of those pedestrians. Look, somebody getting out of the way. That was a red light right there. Probably heard those lights and sirens. This guy not stopping. Again, we're just saying it's a male driver, but it could be a female. We know two people inside that vehicle, stolen vehicle. LAPD Van Nuys Division in pursuit right now, working our way through Sherman Oaks, working our way over towards Sepulveda Boulevard and then the 405 freeway. We're going to see what this guy does. Right now, it's been a very dangerous pursuit. Luckily, nobody's been injured.
Well, right now, surprisingly, for the kind of night that it is, a warm, clear night, Ventura Boulevard on a Friday night, there doesn't seem to be a lot of traffic right now. I'm a little surprised at that, but still, nonetheless, there are still people out there. It is still dangerous for them. This driver is taking a lot of chances, weaving in and out of traffic, driving on the wrong side of the road when he was driving through Mulholland and through the canyons, just blew through an intersection right there. If I heard you correctly, he is now on Sepulveda.
Northbound Sepulveda, and that's pedestrian. Was no pedestrian. That was LAPD with spike strips. They did throw him out in front of that vehicle. Unclear if the vehicle did hit him, but you can see right now this driver, a little agitated about that, really starting to pick up some speed. Northbound Sepulveda Boulevard, we're just going right underneath the 101 freeway right there. You can see a lot of traffic out there passing Castle Game and Golf, and we're getting into the Van Nuys area. This is an area, I'm looking ahead, very light traffic, very lucky. Whoa! Oh! Just hit a car right there. Whoa, what? Coming around, we're going to get a better shot of that, but you saw that live right there. I believe that's going to be Magnolia. That's a innocent pedestrian right there. That vehicle T-bone looks like a Mustang, front end damage. LAPD's working their way over to that suspect vehicle. We're going to move around to get a better shot of it, but you saw that as you went through that intersection. What a crash. Look at that car. You got somebody out of the back of the vehicle. The front end is completely damaged. It looks like 2 people in that vehicle right there. Incredible stuff. I just got to be hoping. A child? There's a child in this car? This is just getting more and more bizarre. I am praying that nobody is hurt. Does look like the vehicle might be on fire right now. Hoping everybody got out of that car. LAPD definitely here on scene. Looks like a woman, a child, and perhaps somebody on a cell phone. Maybe that's an innocent person that just was in the area, but you can see LAPD not taking any chances out here. That car definitely smoking. Seems to have something going on up in the front there. That woman with a child on the sidewalk right now. Now, we are not 100% sure that that person came out of the vehicle. We believe that person came out of the vehicle. That was an insane crash. Took out a light standard. We see bricks on the roadway out there. So that vehicle, front end, rear end damage. We saw it spinning and sparking. This is a horrible end, but maybe we will see that there are no injuries, or we'll hear that. A woman and a child right now, unclear if they're going to take them into custody, and we're unclear if there's still somebody in that car.
Okay, Stu, I don't see right now, and maybe just because it's dark, the live picture, it's hard to tell because it's dark, but I can't tell if the police have their guns drawn on this woman with a child who is now sitting on the sidewalk. We don't know if she was actually in the car. Is that the other person that was supposedly in the car?
That is the other person that definitely was the other person. That's the suspect. You see that laser light on that person. That's a less than lethal. They're just taking him into custody right now. And the woman and that child confirmed now. We're inside that vehicle. We're inside that vehicle with the suspect that they are taking into custody right now. LAPD did have their weapons out, but I'm sure they were not pointing it at that child. But they were definitely they wanted to get this guy right here. We believe that's the driver, the suspect of that stolen vehicle, taking him into custody. This all happening out here, Van Nuys area, on Sepulveda Boulevard this evening. A crazy crash, and even more bizarre that they would put a child in that kind of position. You can see that mangled mess right there of a car. LAPD taking that suspect into custody, that woman and a child right now by that vehicle. They're definitely going to cuff that child and cuff that woman and protect that child. This really is just mind-blowing that somebody would do that with a child in a car this evening. That driver right there being taken into custody as well.
And Stu, we're also wondering, I mean, we see the sparks from the car flying. We know that the accident happened at Sepulveda and Magnolia, as you mentioned. I'm wondering what happened to the driver of that car who was T-boned at the intersection.
You know, the innocent people are always the ones that we do care so much about. It's right there. There's that Mustang. Heavy front end damage. Does definitely have airbag deployment. We can definitely see that in the driver's side. Unclear if that person got out of that vehicle. There's a group of people standing right there. LAPD, though, one of the other units made quick notice, obviously saw that. One of the other units probably went to check on that driver. Very, very close to a LA City fire station. I'm not 100% clear on the station number, but there is a fire station actually right there. So we're probably going to be seeing some rescue units getting here very shortly. Again, a spectacular crash. We're hoping all the people involved are not hurt, and especially that child.
Especially the child, Stu. But I have a question. I know it's so hard to see in the dark, and there was a lot of chaos going on. But I'm not entirely sure. Are we sure that the woman and the child were actually in that reported stolen vehicle? And if they were, is it possible that they may have been victims and not participants in this chase? Do we have any other confirmation where this woman and child came from?
Well, we have confirmation from the LAPD helicopter. They definitely were saying that that woman and child got out of the vehicle. So that is confirmed. Are they victims? Well, you know, that's all yet to be determined. I'm sure there's going to be more of an investigation into this. Obviously, a horrific crash here at the end of that of that pursuit. We can see LA City Fire working their way out right now. Obviously, they're going to want to take care of that innocent victim, but I'm sure because of the age, that child that was involved, they're going to work their way over over there as well. 88's, that's the station that is right here, not even half a block away from where this accident happened. So first responders getting here on scene very quickly. Obviously going to be talking to the officers that saw the wreck, probably find out where that driver of the red Mustang, the innocent person involved in this crash, that it actually happened at Magnolia and Sepulveda. And look at the distance. This is quite a distance after that crash. We saw that car spinning and sparking. Unclear if it rolled. We do know just from the damage here that it at least hit that pole, took out some of that wall. There's rear damage. There's front damage on this car. That woman and child, they are right there by that officer's vehicle. That's Van Nuys Police Department. That's going to be, they call that shop 573. That's the number on the roof. We know for a fact the child and the woman inside that vehicle. The driver of the vehicle that walked away, we saw him earlier on walk away being very defiant. He's right there right now, cuffs on him. That's going to be unit, obviously you can read the numbers as well as I can, 612. They're all going to be checked out. The child hopefully will be first, and then everybody else.
And Stu, we saw that first responder, the ambulance arriving there at the intersection where the crash happened. Can you see now if the driver of the Mustang has actually exited the vehicle?
You know what? This is, again, live breaking news. We're going to move around a little bit more. One of the reasons there's so much damage on that vehicle, it struck at least 3 other vehicles. That was shock in my voice, not humor. Got to make that very clear. We see these cars right here. You can see that debris field on Sepulveda Boulevard. So after colliding with that Mustang in that intersection, the car spun. It hit these vehicles right here. Some people still in those cars, and then continued to spin, ricocheted off that wall, and wound up down, way down over here, where they took all the persons inside that vehicle into custody, protective custody, or just custody. Like you pointed out, we don't know if that woman and child were victims or willing participants. Right now, though, huge crash scene out here in the Van Nuys area. The LAPD working with the innocent victims. A large debris field. This intersection probably going to be closed down for that investigation. I can say this with a positive way, one ambulance here on scene. Obviously, PD's been talking to the people, so it's very good news. We're not sure if others were going to show up, but this all coming to an end. Van Nuys, in the city of Van Nuys, Sepulveda, and Magnolia.
All right, Stu, so a recap here. This all started, we picked up the pursuit in the Hollywood Hills. This person was driving erratically, speeding, going over double yellow lines on Mulholland, eventually worked their way back down into the valley, into Sherman Oaks and onto Ventura Boulevard, still engaging in a high-speed chase. And you see on the right side of your screen, this is how it came to a dramatic end. Hit a Mustang, T-boned it, hit 2 other cars on the way to the sidewalk where it eventually ended up. And we saw immediately after that crash what appeared to be a woman and a child getting out of that allegedly stolen vehicle, and another person, a man who police had their guns drawn on. He eventually was taken into custody, handcuffed. The mother or woman and child, we don't know if it's their mother, was taken to a patrol car. Again, Stu said there is just 1 ambulance on the scene, which is a good sign that there aren't any more serious injuries there at the end of this pursuit.
All right, we're going to move on to other news now. A vicious attack caught on.
Back to our breaking news, a high-speed pursuit that ended in a horrific crash in Van Nuys.
Stu Mandel is overhead now in Sky 9 with an update. Stu.
Well, what we're looking at right now is what is the end of a physical rescue after that high-speed pursuit crash. This is on Sepulveda Boulevard, just north of Magnolia. This is one of several cars that were hit this evening when this pursuit vehicle crashed here at the corner of Sepulveda and Magnolia. Originally striking that red Mustang right there, losing control, spinning, and then hitting cars that were basically getting ready to make a left turn onto Sepulveda. You can see them right there. That red SUV, the LA City Fire actually had to cut the door off of that to get the driver out. Now that suspect vehicle continued to spin and spark, crashing into a wall, landing way down over here. When that car finally did come to a stop, we saw the back door pop open. A woman and a child got out. The driver got out as well. There was a little bit of a confrontation with LAPD, but they did take that driver into custody right now. Woman and child are inside of a police vehicle. Unclear on their condition right now, but you can see Sepulveda Boulevard out here in Van Nuys, shut down at Magnolia for quite a bit of police activity. Live in Sky 9, I'm Stu Mandel. Elsa, Susie, back to you.
All right, Stu, thank you so much for that. Tonight, Huntington